All right. All right. Let some people get in here. Let some people jump in here. What's going on, guys? What is going on? What is going on? Just letting some people get in here. Hello. Just started. Just letting some people get in here. And then we'll get started. Is Minnesota done with snow? No. No, you guys look like you're going to have a pretty good snowstorm here on Tuesday moving into Wednesday. It'll be a lot for some. Here's the latest Euro. Latest Euro's looking at potentially 8 to 10 inches through the Twin Cities. Oh my God. Sorry, guys. My son's yelling. 6 inches to a foot are possible anywhere from central to southern Minnesota. Right now, it looks like the farther southeastern you go, the more snow you're going to get. 1 second, guys. You might hear my son screaming in the background, laughing. Here's our latest Euro on snow. There you go. Some interesting stuff's happening here on the GFS, guys. I want you to watch this. I want you guys to look at this. I got to go over some stuff, but we got to watch this. I think this is going to be too warm. I think this isn't going to end up being accumulating snow, but the GFS is giving a chance for snow through portions of Charlotte up towards Raleigh, Durham, and into eastern Tennessee as well. I think it's going to be a little bit too warm, but there's a signal there, and then it goes up through Virginia Beach as well. Multiple blasts of cold air. You can see digging trough with snow. You can see what wants to happen in Texas there. So we're getting some opportunities. There's a lot of snow that wants to continue to move through the lower 48 in March. Much of it is above this line. A lot of it's wanting to fall through here. Some of it's making it out. We can take a look at what the GFS thinks. Kuchera wise, take it with a grain of salt, but it's a lot of snow. Still seeing, this would obviously be interesting. Again, I'm not really too big on this snow, but it's possible. A lot of snow down here as well. Really quickly, I wanted to get into the updates with our severe weather event before I start taking questions and stuff like that. So let's look at this. This is our 18Z. Here we go. Let's get into severe weather. Let's look at our Cape projections. Whoa. Look at that. 2100 joules per kilogram up here. With okay shear, not crazy shear, but okay shear. Wow, what is going on up here? Did they extend this? This is a lot of cape. Okay. This is the temperature of the atmosphere as we're moving up. You need here's your temperature, here's your dew point. You need there to be warmer air at the surface, colder air aloft, for there to be instability. So this is a ton of instability. This is your CAPE, convective available potential energy. We can see some shear here. We can see a pretty curled hodograph. My son is screaming. Sin looks okay. Wow, this is interesting. This is the latest NAM. Do we have? Let me pull up something else. I actually want to look at what's going on here in eastern Kansas with our latest day 1. What's our day 2 looking like? Okay, so I don't know. They might extend this. They maybe should extend this slight north. Interesting. They might want to extend that slight north into eastern Kansas. Let's look at our... we almost have the... Oh, man, we almost have the 00ZH triple R. Let's look at this 18ZH triple R. Sorry, guys. I just want to look at some of these soundings before we get started. 2,500 joules per kilogram. Not an insane amount of shear associated with this one. Inhibitions low. So that's not too intense. Let's see. Let's see here. I mean, look at this. I don't know why we don't have a slight into. I mean, shear's not crazy here. I don't know why we don't have a slight into. I'm gonna go a little bit farther south. One second, guys. I'm just looking at this. I haven't had much time to look at this today, so let me get into Louisiana down here. Let's get into Louisiana. Here we go. Let's go up here. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Sorry. I just want to see if I think this is how intense I think this is going to be. Obviously, this is a big event that's going to happen over the next 3 days. Here we go. I mean, none of these soundings are looking like extraordinarily scary. We might not get a moderate. We might not even get a moderate, honestly. Which would be good. Sorry if you hear all the screaming in the background. Let's see. I don't know if we're gonna get a moderate out of this. I do find this quite interesting. How far north some of this is going, though. Look at this up here in Iowa. This up here in Iowa actually looks pretty intense. Oh my God. I got to tell him to stop screaming. Let me look at this up in Iowa real quick. I'll get to questions in a second. Again, I'm looking at some of this for the first time. It makes me feel like, I mean, they don't even have a marginal up in Iowa. Again, I feel like maybe a marginal up in Iowa, maybe a slight up into Kansas might be a good idea. But there's some good meteorologists who are making this. Storm Prediction Center usually knows what they're talking about, so we'll believe them. Although it does look like we have some decent cape and shear up north. The problem is our jet is mainly going to be... This is where our jet's going to be punching through our lower level jet and our mid-level jet right here. So you're not going to have kind of the velocities up here that you're going to have associated with down here. So while you might have more cape, while you might actually have more shear up to the north, you're going to have... you need some of these higher velocities with this jet down here to get these, what do I call them? Twisty boys down on the ground. All right, chat, what's going on? Sorry, I needed to look at that. What is going on? Let's go to the GFS since it'll show us a little bit farther out what's happening here. Seth, what's going on? Southwest Indiana. Here's our watches and warnings, okay? This is our Monday 12Z into so this is Monday afternoon into Tuesday afternoon. So this is tomorrow and then into early Tuesday. And then we're going to see this shift a little bit farther out here. This is going to be more of a Tuesday afternoon into Wednesday afternoon. Into Wednesday morning. And then once we get into the Wednesday morning, this is going to be more towards Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, and this is going to be all the way out here. So that's our timeline there. The immediate tomorrow, we're dealing with this right now. Tomorrow, this is going to be something we're dealing with right here. This slight through central Oklahoma. This shifted slightly east. We do have the DFW, Tulsa, and Oklahoma City all in the slight now. All in the slight risk to see, this is going to be your biggest threat is going to be these tornadoes through here. You got a marginal risk pushing all the way up into eastern Kansas and then down into central Texas as well. You can get some stuff out here in your general thunderstorm sometimes, but it's usually you're gonna have the best chance for that instability in your marginal slight here. Yeah, I'll show you guys the vortex in a little bit. It's gonna be honestly the vortex. What's happening with the vortex isn't gonna affect us for a few weeks. So it's just not. We can keep looking at it, but we're not gonna even feel the effects from it for another like 20 plus days. Tornado season prediction. I think everyone's right. I think we have a chance to break all sorts of records. We're in the right MJO phase, Enzo cycle, and we're going to have some close to record-breaking, if not record-breaking waters in the western, Atlantic and in the Gulf. So I expect it to be very aggressive. I expect it to be especially aggressive out here. More Dixie Alley through Ohio Valley, Hoosier as well. Will North Carolina get hit? North Carolina is part of our beginning of the day 3 outlook into day 4. So Tuesday evening, late, really Wednesday morning. This is a Wednesday threat. This is going to be, and you're going to have it, the slight like this as it moves out. But this is a Wednesday threat for everyone out here. It's more likely to get QLCS tornadoes. So weaker EF0 to EF2, maybe EF2, but really EF0 to EF1 tornadoes associated with squall lines. Some strong winds, potential hail as well on Wednesday for you guys out here in the east. Again, the GFS put snow through almost all of North Carolina, including Charlotte. Saturday into Sunday. I think it's going to be a little bit too warm. If anything, I think that snow might actually be a little bit higher up through Virginia. Maybe up here, but we'll see. The Euro doesn't really see that happening. The Euro sees a chance. I mean, the Euro has this baroclinic line right here. So you could get a low pressure developing here. And this jet is a little bit farther down south now, this freezing air. So we could get something developing through here. Snow-wise, I wouldn't expect anything major. But that's another something new that we're going to watch. What does Colorado look like this week? You guys are getting a lot of snow. Let's see. We got a nice snowstorm moving in on Monday. We got another one moving in on Thursday evening. We've got another one moving in potentially next Tuesday. You guys, there's a lot. This is what I wanted to show you guys, actually. Check out this from our Climate Prediction Center. Look at these. You guys are getting back into a cooler trend out west. Watch as we get into the 8 to 14. Cooler trend out west. And precipitation-wise, you guys are going to be looking much better than you've looked most of the season, too. Pretty above average precipitation moving forward. So you're going to have a chance for some really, really good snow through the Rockies and the Southern Rockies. Moving forward here through the second and third week of March. Got on a little early today because White Lotus episode 3 comes out tonight, and me and my wife got to watch that together because that's our favorite show. Does anyone else in here watch White Lotus? So good. It is so good. Each episode feels like a movie, except for they always leave you with a cliffhanger. You live in Central Texas. Can I start planting my garden yet? You guys, This is a pretty look what happens here at the end of this run. That's very cold air into Texas. Probably after that. Probably after the 14th or 15th of March. Because if that happens, we're going to get some pretty below average temperatures. Oops. Let's go into our... Here we go. Look at what that would do down into Texas. 10 to 20 degrees below average potentially down here. At the end of this weekend. And then watch as we move out farther. Look at this cold air moving in. 20 degrees below average moving in down here. We could see we could see a late cold push. So I would wait. I would wait at least until the third week of March. You're not done with some very, very cold troughing. Again, there's a reason I agreed with the groundhog. We're gonna see colder air diving down into the States a little bit longer than we've seen the last a little bit later than we've seen the last few years. We could get a big freezing push close towards the Gulf third week of March still. Not saying we will, but with the setup we could get one that late. Third or even fourth week of March if we have some, a little bit of luck with how these things are moving. Any good stuff for Wisconsin? Yeah, I mean, you guys got a snowstorm about to move over. Let's see. I mean, let's see how the GFS sees this thing playing out. We can compare the models. We've got, you know what we can do? Let's go to our national blended models. Haven't been there in a while. We'll go national blend. We will look at, sorry, my son is whining in the background. We can go into regions. I want to really go to Northern Plains. Let's go. Great Lakes. God, let me see if I can. Can I get one that's just straight over Minnesota and Wisconsin? Let's see. South. I feel like upper Midwest. Okay, this is pretty good. That's kind of what I was looking for. Here you go. Let's look at what our national blend thinks for this system. You guys I know some people wondering about this. We'll go on to the other topics too. Here's our national blend. This is going to be a combination of all of our models. So it's actually typically the national blend is conservative on snow totals. I always say add 2 or 3 inches to it, or at least 2 inches to whatever the national blend says, because it's going to blend in models that don't even see a snowstorm, and that brings down the average. So it'll also expand the snow out. You're not going to get this wide of snow, but you can see, I mean, so this would suggest to me, he's not having a good night. This would suggest to me 8 to 9 inches is possible through the Twin Cities. Probably some okay snow up through Green Bay. I think it's going to be hard to get it into Milwaukee and Madison. Let's take a look at what our Euro thinks. 18Z. Let's go into, here we go. See the Euros being more aggressive. And then we've got our GFS here as well. Let's look at our GFS. We can look at Ensemble too, but and then they see more. They see another snowstorm right behind this, at least in the GFS. But yeah, that's what's going on up there. Some of this could be back. We could see some of this into Nebraska as well, though. Let me show you that. This is, this wants to put potentially 5 inches through Omaha. That's the GFS. The Euro likes about 5 inches through Omaha as well. Our national blend thinks that's, a possibility as well, too. And through much of Nebraska, actually. So... and we actually have some colder troughing than what's right behind that. So, what's the latest on severe weather for New Jersey? We still have a slight risk in southern New Jersey, and I think it'll be extended up. Let's take a sounding. Let's take a sounding from up there. What are we looking at? I mean, the wind shear's pretty good. The wind shear's not bad. This is too far out. We're not going to get... Let's see. not seeing a lot of instability. We need to wait another day to get a good sounding out of New Jersey, and the shear potential is good. We need another day to get a good sounding out of the Northeast, out of the Mid Atlantic. We can probably get a decent sounding out of. Let's see. We can probably get a decent. Sorry, we got it. Spammers. We can probably get a decent sounding out of Charlotte. I almost want to downgrade this out here for their slight to a let me see, to a marginal. Let's look at our soundings near Atlanta. I mean, we got some spinning photographs. I don't see, at least on the NAM. Molly, I appreciate you. Thank you, Molly. Molly, I appreciate the sub. Thank you. Oh, I didn't even see gifts, guys. I'll get to that in a second. I appreciate you guys. Again, right now it's looking like the severe weather, the worst of the severe weather is going to be out here. We'll have to see. There's some high instability up here to the north, up here, that we could get a surprise tornado or two up here. Watching that area as well Tuesday, and we could get some weak QLCS tornadoes out here, including all the way up through New Jersey and southeastern PA. Still, but we need to wait till tomorrow, and we'll start having some good soundings from the Mid Atlantic and out east here. We already have some really good soundings. Around Louisiana, Arkansas, and stuff like this, because we're getting pretty close to this event taking place. That's a pretty decent sounding right there in northern Louisiana. What's up, Abe? Yeah, we're watching the potential for some tornadoes. We could get a tornado or two on the ground in New Jersey on Wednesday. We're not expecting any major EF2 plus tornadoes out east right now. There's not enough instability, and we're not going to have this like discrete cell set up where they're going to be associated with the squall line, which are usually a little bit weaker. They can still do damage though. You still have to be weather alert. You have to understand if one of these things is going over your head, obviously. But what's going on, Julie? I didn't forget about YouTube chat. Alex, I appreciate you. Dana, Tony, Confused Blonde, what's up? Yali, Spaceman, I appreciate you. What's going on, Andrea? Brittany, what's poppin'? Molly, again, I appreciate you. Thank you for the sub, Molly. Uncle Frankie, what's happening? Unk. Any snow for Mass? Yeah, potentially. We can take a look. Here's our latest Euro. This isn't going to take us all the way out. The Euro wants to put some clippers through there. Let's take a look at our 12Z. Where's our Euro want to drop snow over the next? We're not going to go too far out. We'll say 7 days. Some snow for inland New England. Not much out here for coastal Mid-Atlantic or coastal New England. I will tell you, though, we're going to have a pretty strong Bear Clinic line right up here for this upcoming weekend, and we could see a low develop. I was talking about that earlier. We could see a low develop and drive up the coast. It's pretty not a great chance, but we do have our polar jet diving a little bit farther than expected, and we'll have some moisture being pulled off the Gulf. So we'll watch this area. We'll have to see. You can kind of see what's happening on the Euro if I were to go to future radar. Right here, as we get into next weekend, you can see this energy that's trying to develop right here. Sorry, right here. All right, along this boundary. You could get a low developing here. It's not showing it developed right here. You could. I'd probably take the under on it developing, but you could get a low developing here, and that would put some snow out through this region. What does the GFS see at this time frame? Let's look. The latest GFS. The latest GFS actually does put some snow into Mass. It actually does have. You can see it does have that low developing. I actually didn't even notice that. Look at that. The GFS is actually doing what I thought the Euro could do. So it is developing a 995 low and putting some snow into maybe portions of the Mid-Atlantic and the New England coast. So if this were to happen on the Euro has this a little bit farther south. That would also potentially include snow, potentially as far south as DC, Baltimore, and Philly, but we'd have to see. And then you have the GFS giving another opportunity for coastal snow with this system right here. If that develops, not a high chance, but it's something to watch. We're always looking at these signals. The GFS also does something a little bit interesting down here. That was the 12Z. Down here in the south, we're watching this on. This actually agrees more this latest run with the Euro. It wants to put some snow down to like Charlotte and North Carolina. Again, when you get this baroclinic line, you get this cold warm air interaction, and you have all this moisture to the south. There's an opportunity here for a snowstorm to develop up the coast. We're not seeing it. The signal in the models. We're seeing something close to it. So I'm not getting my hopes up for it. I would love this thing to go up the coast. I'm not getting my hopes up, but I do. There's an opportunity here. These future radars are never perfect. The storm's going to shift north or shift south. We're going to see a low develop, a stronger low, or a weaker low. So we have to see how it develops. I'm very annoyed that Boston hasn't gotten a good nor'easter or any of these big storms. Yeah. We've had a pretty bad winter. We were looking at that earlier. So here you go. This is the departure from average snowfall this winter. You see us right here. Very, very bright red. New England and Mid-Atlantic coast. Yep. Big departure from average snowfalls. They did good. They did good through here. They did fantastic in the south. We had it pretty good through portions of the east central plains, Kentucky. I mean, this area did well. And then you can see down here, the southern Mid-Atlantic did pretty good. Southern Maryland, portions of Virginia, and down into the North Carolina coast. It did really good, but we missed it. Big gap of snow up here, though. This is tragic. That's tragic. What's going on, Mesomat? Is the polar vortex weakening? Can you show us? I'll show you. Hey, Matt, there's a ton of instability on the NAM up into... I still don't think we have completely the right setup, but I do think this is a little bit interesting. We'll look at the vortex 1 second. Don't you find this interesting? Matt, 2000, here. Actually, let me go back here. Look at this. Look at that sounding. Look at that sounding from Iowa. Is that... It's a pretty decent sounding. About 2,000 joules per kilogram. Cold core setup in Iowa for sure, yeah. Our lower level jets cranking down off to the southeast. So velocity-wise, the winds aren't going to be booking it through Iowa. But we're going to have directional shear. We're going to have Cape, obviously. So we're not going to have these high velocities like we're going to have down in Louisiana, Arkansas, maybe Mississippi. Yeah. All right. Everyone wants to know. Let's take a look at this real quick. What's going on? Yeah, I can talk about the stratospheric polar vortex till the cows come home. This wouldn't affect us for 3 weeks, so let's... North America zoomed out. That's interesting. Let's northern hemisphere. Here we go. Stratosphere. 12Z. We still have a big stratospheric warming event happening up over Alaska and Western Canada with a with a second vortice of the stratospheric polar vortex wanting to form up here over the northeast mid-Atlantic Ohio Valley region. Interesting. Katie, I appreciate that. Extend it at 3-month renewal subscription. Katie, I appreciate that, Katie. So here's the thing. Say this happens around March 13th, 14th. This is going to be something that would probably affect us in the 3rd or 4th week of March. But this could affect us in a big way. Let's go and look at our GFS real quick. 18Z, what it's showing up here. Again, look at this. I think this would be even more substantial. This absolute monster stratospheric warming event across most of Canada up there in Greenland. Look at this. This would be crazy too. We have twins. We have triplets. This would be a big disturbance. This would be a big disturbance. You don't want all that warm air. That's unnatural. That's unnatural to be that high. So, again, that's something that could give us a big push of cold air into the 3rd or 4th week of March. I'm watching the end of March. I just have this feeling with this stuff, and let's look at our latest teleconnections too. Our AO is going negative again, and our NAO is too, which would give us storm tracks out east. I have a feeling we could see something unprecedented. I can't say the word unprecedented. 3rd or 4th week of March with temperature, severe weather outbreak. I think we could get a major blizzard with the kind of record-breaking severe setup with what's happening up in our stratosphere at the end of March or in the middle of March. That's going to kind of create a lagging event into the end of March. Blizzard where? I don't know. It's too far out. That's why I'm not talking about it too much, because it's only March 2nd. You know what I mean? But we do have all of our globals agreeing on that. Really, again, major stretch and split of the polar vortex, which is, again, this is something that typically happens once every couple of years, and this is going to be a second time this winter. So GFS has like 20 inches of snow through middle of March for Wisconsin. Yeah, it's a possibility. We're still getting some good troughing. We're getting some cold air still coming down. You can kind of see this represented with as we push out here. This is showing some cold air continuing to dive in out west, and look at all this warm air out to the east. This is almost a severe setup just by looking at your temperatures from the CPC, your temperature outlook. I look at this and I'm like, okay, let's go. March, buckle up for March. Does Virginia look bad Wednesday? Virginia's going to be more of a... Well, yeah. Virginia's in a slight. You got to watch out for some of them twisty boys. Some QLCS tornadoes to Virginia, strong winds, hail. Yeah. Well, let's wait until tomorrow. So we're in that 72-hour range, because then we'll start getting some good soundings. So come back tomorrow. I'll post a video on updates tomorrow. And the video tomorrow will be definitely honing in on what's going on out here. We're going to be in that 48 to 72-hour range where we can get a lot more accurate of soundings, so we can really understand what's going to be actually going on with our atmosphere. Right now, it's still a little bit of a guess. We kind of understand what's going to happen on Tuesday out through the deep south. But what's going on, Charles? Do you think the blizzard's south, or do you? Yeah, I don't know. We don't see any major southern blizzard. The GFS puts a little bit of snow into like the Carolinas, but I don't know. It might be a little bit too warm. But yeah, you should trust the Euro. Yeah, do you trust the Euro or GFS more for snow? You just should trust the Euro more. It's going to be right 8 out of 10 times. The GFS has been right a couple times this year. It's always right a couple times. I mean, they're never perfectly right, but one of them always ends up being more accurate at the end of the day. I appreciate the follows, appreciate the subs, guys. Thank you. Southeastern Missouri. Yeah, this is going to be a Tuesday late afternoon event for you. Let's look at our NAM. Yeah, things really start to crank up here. So this would be around 2 in the afternoon, 3 in the afternoon for you when things start to really crank up. Tuesday. I had to correct in my video. I said that this was tomorrow. This was Monday, and it was just not because I thought it was a Monday thing. I just slipped up. I was in my head when I was making the video. I thought it was Monday, so I said tomorrow. So that's why I made a comment under it. I said I meant Tuesday. In my head, for some reason, I thought it was Monday. It's Sunday today. I hate this temperature roller coaster. Yeah, welcome to spring. It's going to mess with people's sinuses. Omaha, Nebraska, Tuesday into Wednesday. Yeah, we've got a lot of different projections on snow. Here's the latest from the Euro that will probably end up being the closest to the most accurate, but we got to look at a lot of different ones. So Omaha, let me make sure I have it. Yeah, basically central. Right now, 3 to 6 in that region on the Euro. If we were to look at our GFS, really close to missing out on snow completely. Still puts 3 to 6 in your area. Icon, basically 3 to 6. That's basically what everyone. I would say 2 to 4 to be safe, but you could get more locally. Could get more locally. Yeah, I mean, well, the thing with this, and I don't know if Matt's still in here, we're seeing this again, this low pressure getting down to 979 as this moves past Omaha. This you could potentially have like an hour of blizzard-like conditions through Omaha. These winds would be cranking. 979 millibar low with snow. So, I think if you get snow, it's not going to be for very long. But if you an hour or two of snow from a 979 millibar low can drop a lot of snow super quick. You can get 2 to 3 inches an hour. So that's why the Euro sees a little bit more. I mean, like, look at the winds. Like, let's look at what the winds are with this. Look at this into Omaha. 55. Yeah, you could get 60 plus mile per hour winds through Omaha. So tropical storm to hurricane force gusts. So you could get, if the Euro plays out, you're going to have probably an hour of blizzard-like conditions in Omaha. So that'd be fun. Everyone likes a good little quick blizzard. Last couple hours. Yeah, you'll get wind gusts over 50. You'll get wind gusts over 60 probably in Wisconsin. What's going on, gaming? Does it look like a better chance for severe weather in Long Island or the same? About the same. I mean, you're not going to have really any instability in Long Island. That's the problem. You're going to have some strong winds and shear. You're not going to have a ton of major lift. You need cape. You need something that's really, really pushing, breaking the cap and pushing these cloud tops up very, very high. You need strong updrafts. And I don't know if you're going to have that once we get past central Jersey to the north up towards Long Island. Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yeah, I mean, all the models, the consensus on Minneapolis is 6 to 9 inches right now. If this thing trends any farther to the south, though, you'll end up with like 2 to 4. But right now, with what we're looking at throughout the models, including the national blend is calling for 6, and that takes into account all the models. But right now, it is looking like a 6 to 9 inch day for Minneapolis on Tuesday and Wednesday. This would really be. This wants the snow to start around Tuesday night, evening into night, and then kind of move out Wednesday afternoon. That's the timing for Minneapolis right now. One second, guys. One second, chat. Dun, dun, dun. Un momento. Hold up. Hold up, chat. All right. Why does the GFS? Well, the GFS doesn't always overestimate snow. Actually, sometimes the Euro does more than the GFS. You know, all these different models have different algorithms, and some algorithms just account for they overdo moisture. What they're looking at snow wise is how much moisture is in the atmosphere. So, sometimes they just overdo it because they don't get the read correctly. But there are times where the GFS underdoes it. It just overdoes it more than underdoes it because that's just how the algorithm is. They're trying to make it better. They're constantly every couple of years updating, well, probably yearly updating these algorithms to try to get them more accurate. There's like every 5 years they say these you get like another day more accurate in the long range forecasts. So they're working on them, but yeah, we're looking into the future here. It's tough. What's going on, Salim? Polar vortex is still splitting in half on all our globals. Again, I'm not talking about it too much right now because this is something that's not even going to affect us for over 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. But we're still seeing a major split in the polar vortex and a negative Arctic oscillation as we move through the second half of March. And again, I think we're going to have a big disruption. I think we're going to have something unprecedented, like I said, in late March, blizzard, severe weather outbreak wise. You can't have, the GFS wants to split our stratospheric polar vortex into three vortices. So, you typically only see, like I said, your stratospheric polar vortex split once every 2 years. We could see it split twice this year. And one of them, if we do get three vortices, we'll see some really weird effects, side effects from that down in the States. It's hard to tell what right now, but our spring is going to be pushed back a little bit. We could get a late burst of cold air down to the south, third or fourth week of March. So, but it's March 2nd. I can't, I don't have a crystal ball. We need to wait longer. But what we do have is model consensus on that big stratospheric heating event, again, up in Alaska and Canada, up towards Greenland and the Arctic Circle. And that's a high pressure building. That's a big disturbance to our vortex. Yeah, you want to see what the GFS did? What the GFS does? Watch this. This would be wild. Watch this. Look at this. 1, 2, 3. Massive heating. Stratospheric heating event over the Arctic. This is a normal. This is a normal polar vortex. This is not exactly, but this is basically how it's supposed to look. We have this is an inverted stratospheric polar vortex, meaning you have the high pressure where the low pressure should be and the low pressure where the high pressure should be. So crazy stuff happens if this were to play out, some crazy stuff would happen down in the States. So yeah. We'd have the opportunity for some much colder air than should be much cooler air than what we should have in late March and early April, and we'd have the opportunity for some much stronger storms and some severe weather outbreaks than what would be average. Yeah, it wasn't a lot of meteorologists, Marcus, that lost their jobs. There was a lot of people there were meteorologists who lost their jobs. Last year, though, was the worst. We had I want to say October through December, and then into January, we had, there was like 1,000 meteorologists fired. A lot of the layoffs at NOAA and NWS were not I think it's like they laid off like 1% of all their meteorologists, which is still it's not good. No one wants to see that, but it was a lot of other people. But again, a lot of these people were involved in weather forecasting. There was a lot of people who, were involved in collecting weather data, sending up these weather balloons, and had a very, very deep involvement in getting us the data that we need to do this stuff. So it's unfortunate, but it wasn't specifically targeting meteorologists, although there was massive layoffs massive layoffs of meteorologists. Like really, I think November of last year through like the beginning of January this year. A lot of the excuse was we don't need to pay as many meteorologists. We have AI. Stupid stuff. Yeah, I think they're laying off. It's something like 5% of NWS employees, which you have to remember. There's thousands. My hope is that I don't want anyone to get fired, but since people are going to get fired, my hope is that it's not essential. It's less essential people to this stuff. There's people who are doing a little bit more heavy lifting at the NWS and NOAA. Obviously, I don't want anyone to get fired, but if people are going to get fired, I hope it's not the people doing the heavy lifting. I don't think it would be, but we'll see. We'll know soon. Denise, what's going on? I appreciate you. Having fun? What's going on? No gaming tonight. Maybe something crazy in the south. Zenith is possible with that setup, with that stratospheric setup. When is that front passing through Alabama? Tuesday. Let's look at the exact timing we have right now. Front entering Alabama Tuesday around 7 p.m. Exiting the eastern side of Alabama Wednesday morning, very early, around 4 a.m. So Tuesday evening to Wednesday, really early in the morning. That's your Alabama timeline. Definitely want to try to stay weather alert overnight. Keep your sound on for at least a weather alert. Matt found himself in a nader again. Yeah. He did. So funny. Guys, we were tornado chasing in our Outbreak game again last night, and Matt got completely yeeted again. Actually hilarious. Here we go, chat. There he is. This game is too good. This game is too good, guys. Just watching get lifted and tossed into the air. Wait, what's happening? Oh. Yeah, just watch him get lifted and tossed into the air. There. Oh, there he is. I got my car and drove away. Every time I play that game with him, and if you die in the game, you lose all the money you made for that chase. So we were chasing tornadoes for like 30, 40 minutes. And right before the scenario ended, he was trying to put his probe down, and the tornado just picked him up and launched him across the map, and he died and lost everything. It happened yesterday, too. It's fun. Yeah, it wasn't even a wedge. It was a weak one. He was just standing right under it. He thinks he's invincible. Always seems like the strong storms weaken when they get to Memphis. No, that's not a thing. Memphis gets a lot of strong storms. Memphis Metropolitan gets a lot of strong storms. It's the odds of getting like a strong tornado going over you is like a 0.001% chance. Memphis is in a pretty. I mean, like Memphis is like, if we're being honest, like dead center of Dixie Alley. Dixie Alley. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is like Dixie Alley right here. Okay, and Tornado Alley is something like this. This is like Tornado Alley. And then you got like Hoosier Alley up here. So you got like Dixie, Hoosier. This is Tornado Alley. Memphis is like dead center of Dixie Alley. And Dixie Alley is supposed to be we're expecting a potentially record-breaking tornado spring season this year. And we're expecting the worst of it to be in Dixie Alley through Ohio Valley. So Memphis may be active. Memphis is one of the areas we're watching. I would say the areas I'm watching this spring are Memphis, northern Mississippi, central to eastern Arkansas. I think we could get some Jackson, Mississippi. I think we could get some pretty severe weather through there this spring, through that area. Hopefully not too bad. But no problem. Wait, I'm close to Memphis, and it says it's clear all night. Yeah, I mean we're looking at, guys. This is a Tuesday. This is a Tuesday event. Memphis is going to have this squall line go directly over it. What you don't want to see happen is you don't want these discrete cells forming out ahead of the squall line, which is what we see right now in the Euro, because these are what can produce, supercellular big mesocyclone tornadoes, EF2 plus long track tornadoes. So let's dive in a little bit closer here and see for this area, because this is where our biggest threat is going to be. Let's get a little bit closer here. Can this get me in there? Yeah, so, well, here we go. Maybe here. No, actually, we'll go up here. We will go right here. So here's the Euro. Now, you see these out ahead of the system. These are the ones that we worry about the most. These discrete cells. You want to have a nice inflow, okay? Inflow of dry air. And you're going to have, you're going to have stronger, you're going to have the lift right out ahead of this, okay? Once you get into a squall line, you have some rain, cooled air. So a lot of times that can kind of ruin the instability. So you're going to have your greatest instability typically right ahead of this squall line, and your greatest shear potential as well. You're going to have your greatest shear potential. So you can get big, and if you have this dry air feeding it without any rain, cooled air, you can get some big tornadoes in these discrete cells out ahead of it. This is just a future radar. We're not going to see this exact setup. Let's take a look at, okay, our HRRR00Z is loading. Let me see. Can we see anything on the 18Z yet from this? Okay. We're starting to see it. You see on the HRRR, we're not seeing these kind of cluster cells out here ahead of it, which is good. Let's go to the NAM real quick. 18Z. We're not. Sorry, my son's crying. Don't worry. He's not out there by himself. He's with my wife. We were like child abuse. Not seeing that as much on the NAM either. So that's good. We'll have to see what the HRRR00Z pulls in here, because we don't want to see a bunch of discrete. We don't want to see a discrete cell setup out here, because that's when things are going to get bad. You know what I mean? So I'm not. That's why looking at this right now, I think we haven't gotten a moderate. I was thinking originally we might get a moderate. We're staying with an enhanced right now, and I think that's the right call. I want to see what the latest CAPE is looking like, what our instability dew points are looking like on the latest. I haven't checked that on the latest Euro. On the latest HRRR2. Let me check dew points again. How much moisture are we going to have in the air? Almost up to 60 up there in Memphis. It's pretty good. Wow, these dew points are looking much higher up the coast here. Look at this, almost 50, 51 degree dew points up the coast of the mid-Atlantic. Wow. You could get something. You could get a tornado in here. Anywhere in that. What is he doing out there? These dew points south. Yeah, I mean, Charlotte, 60 degree dew points. Dew points are good in Alabama, Mississippi. Man, very high dew points, 67, 68 down there in Louisiana. This is showing us how saturated our air is going to be, guys. And the more saturated it is, the more energy we're going to have here for some naders, for some strong convection. Really got to see this 00Z of the HRRR once it loads, though. Let's see. If only the temperatures were cold enough, this rain would allow for snow. We'll have a chance for some more snow in Pittsburgh. You can see it on these, like some light clipper systems moving through. No big snow in the immediate forecast. Utah, yeah, I'll talk about that in a second. What would those temps be like if it did happen? Well, Celine, I don't know. You could get freezing temperatures back down to the Gulf if we were to see a major split in the stratospheric polar vortex into the second and third week of March. But especially with that big stratospheric warming event in the Arctic. Very late push of cold air. We've seen freezing air actual temperature, not wind chill, freezing air, touched the Gulf late in March before with that type of setup. One second, guys. Sorry, guys. Let's see. They're saying 3 out of 5 chance in our area, Louisiana, for tornadoes. Yeah, you're in an enhanced risk. Yeah, it's not really a 3 out of 5 chance. It's an enhanced is 15%. So let's go to our day 3. Let's go oh, wait. Enhanced on the categorical. Huh. Moderate on the probabilistic. Oh, wow. Okay, let's read this, guys. There's an enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms Tuesday afternoon and evening across southern Arkansas, much of northern and central Louisiana, and central and southern Mississippi. Our one or two organized lines or clusters of thunderstorms, we don't like clusters, those are the bad ones, and perhaps a few supercells, again, bad, will pose a risk for damaging wind gusts, a few tornadoes and hail, primarily across parts of the lower Mississippi Valley into southeast. Tuesday through Tuesday night. Okay. Latest model output remains a bit varied. Yep. Concerning the evolution and motion of a significant mid-upper level trough, which is the troughing looks crazy. I will say that. The velocities in the troughing looks crazy. Forecast to be in the process of shifting across the east. Blah, 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 blah. Let's get to if there's anything significant in here that I haven't seen. In the wake of a recent intrusion of dry, potentially cool air associated with surface ridging shifting east of the Atlantic seaboard, models indicate that an influx of moisture off the western Gulf Basin will evect eastward ahead of the cold front, trailing the cyclone. However, northeast of the southeastern Great Plains into lower Mississippi Valley, the moisture return may remain elevated above a residual cool, stable near-surface layer. Okay. Still large-scale forcing for ascent and destabilization will probably be sufficient to support extensive thunderstorm development across the interior U.S. Okay, yeah, that's what we're seeing. And a fairly broad area with at least a conditional risk for severe thunderstorms given the strength and flow shear. That we're seeing shear everywhere in the evolving warm sector. All right. If you live here, strong winds and hail are guaranteed in this circle, not for everyone. Well, strong winds pretty much for everyone, but hail is not going to be everywhere. It's a pretty dangerous look. We're, basically what it was saying is we're getting some velocities increased in our mid-level and a little bit that's assisting with some extra moisture being pulled off of the Gulf. We're still not seeing a crazy amount of destabilization of we're not seeing a crazy amount of cape or instability here yet, but we have everything else we need. And so they need to warn this because if we do get, there's still the possibility of us getting enough, strong enough updrafts here to help turn one of these clusters or supercells into a strong long track tornado. So although we don't have all the pieces, we have 4 out of 5 of them, and so it needs to be taken very seriously because you can get strong updrafts out of nowhere. Models sometimes won't even pick up your full lift potential until we're 12 hours out. Sometimes not even then. So, all right. Yellow you got to take seriously as well. I mean, really marginal and up. Anything could happen, but yeah. Yeah, Celine, you could because we would have the moisture there. North Texas, if you're talking about the Panhandle, your severe weather's kind of moving out to your east. You're not going to see much. You could get some snow. Some of these models do put some snow into your area. The GFS, I think, does, but let's see what the GFS does. Yeah, see, the GFS put some snow into the northern panhandle. Not a ton. 120 plus hours out. That could change. I don't think the Euro sees that. It sees the potential for it, but severe weather, if you're up in the panhandle, you're fine. If you're not in the panhandle and you're talking about kind of this outlook here, so this is going to be like Dallas Fort Worth. This is going to be your Monday afternoon into Tuesday afternoon time frame. Slight risk and marginal risk through this region. This needs to be taken seriously. We could also get some naders out of this right here. Yep, Dallas Fort Worth is in a slight risk for tornadoes tomorrow. Beginning tomorrow afternoon through Tuesday morning. Call Mesomet. I think he needs to know this because it's important. Is he streaming right now? Let's see. Come on, Mesomat. Come on. Wow. He's in the restroom. Are you watching him? Are you watching him, son? This right here is this is our Tuesday afternoon through Wednesday afternoon outlook. This is more of a Tuesday afternoon through Wednesday very early in the morning. This is going to be a Tuesday event. The Wednesday event's going to be out here mostly. I know. Wow, Matt. What's this guy doing? What's this guy even doing? I do want to show you guys something. We've been talking about this. Severe weather outbreak, right? Severe weather outbreak. Severe weather outbreak. Those would be three major ones. Just right here, looking out through midway of March. The GFS I think sees like 5, but well, let's look at the GFS. Severe weather outbreak. That could be severe weather right there. Severe weather outbreak, and then this right here would probably bring this right here. I could see a risk zone moving up here with this setup that I'm seeing right here pushing through. So we're only talking about halfway through March. We could have 3 to 4 severe weather outbreaks right now over the next 2 weeks. My wife says she went to school with you. Do you remember Tixon? I don't. Wait, what? No, I don't. What school? College or high school? Or middle school? Appreciate the follows and subs, guys. Thank you. Thank you. What is going on, Cindy? Wait. Oh. Ay. I didn't say it properly. Thank God I can't spell, guys, right? Thank God I can't pronounce words correctly. I get it. My ass. I get it. Hilarious. Locally, they're saying Tennessee isn't going to be bad. What's it looking like for us? I don't know who's telling you Tennessee isn't going to be bad. I mean, you're going to be in a slight risk. And, you got to... no one should be telling you it's not going to be bad because no one knows if it's going to be bad. We know there's potential for it to be bad. And even if there's just a little potential, you have to take this very seriously. People should never be downplaying severe weather, especially not when you have this major slight risk and enhanced risk and moderate probabilistic outlook. You need to take this seriously. And this is going to be shifting east. So Hopefully, it's a bust for Tennessee, but I'm concerned with Memphis. Delaware isn't even calling for rain. What? You guys are getting rain. What are you talking about? Ain't no way Delaware's missing out on rain. You think this? What do you think the squall line's? Do you think the squall line's just gonna part like the Red Sea? Is that what they think? Not you. Is that what they think? The squall line's just gonna part like the Red Sea and there's gonna be no rain through here? No, I would bet my mortgage that you guys are gonna get rain and some thunderstorms in Delaware. Should I give Matt one more try before I get off here? We'll give him one more try before I get off. I'll bother him. I talk to Matt like 4 or 5 times a day, guys. On the phone. I probably annoy the shit out of him. You know what I mean? Central Arkansas needs to have a way to get alerts on Tuesday. It's looking almost guaranteed to see QLCS tornadoes in Arkansas. You have the potential for some supercell cluster tornadoes as well. So just pay attention. Be weather alert on Tuesday. Definitely be weather alert on Tuesday. Here's our outlook. So slight into an enhanced, and then we've got this moderate probabilistic. I'm gonna watch what's it called? What's that show? White Lotus with my wife tonight. It comes out at 9. I'm gonna help put my son to sleep. So she's very pregnant. She's gonna be 32 weeks pregnant this week. It's hard for her, and our son's bedroom's upstairs. It's hard for her to walk up and down with our son. You can't get off, man. So I do need to hop off. Again, this is... Let me go here. This right here, Central Oklahoma, Dallas-Fort Worth up through Tulsa, Oklahoma City, and all the surrounding areas. You've got a slight risk tomorrow. So this is going to be Monday afternoon through Tuesday afternoon. Day 3, this is a Tuesday afternoon through Wednesday afternoon. We're looking at portions of southern Missouri, eastern Oklahoma, all of Arkansas, western Tennessee, most of Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, eastern Texas. Slight to enhanced. Everyone there needs to pay attention Tuesday to Wednesday. Now, once we get into tomorrow, we're going to see. I think they might put it in enhanced out through portions of Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, Jersey, and PA. I think we might get a marginal slight expansion of this. This is going to be Wednesday morning through Wednesday afternoon. So we have to watch out for that as well. Snow-wise, it does look like we could get 3 to 6 inches through central Nebraska. We could get 3 to 6 inches through portions of northwestern Iowa. Potentially 6 to 9 through the Twin Cities, and then central to northern Wisconsin could see 6 to 9 even more snow, and then up in that upper peninsula of Michigan right above it could see a decent amount of snow from the system as well. We could even get blizzard-like conditions through portions of near Omaha and up through northwestern Iowa and southeastern Minnesota on Tuesday, because we have the potential to have a 979 millibar low, which is going to have very strong winds cranking around, cranking counterclockwise around it, and you could get 2 to 3 inches of snow an hour with that type of setup as well. So it might only snow for 2 to 3 hours, 2 hours in Omaha, but you can get a lot of snow if the Euro ends up being correct. I got work tomorrow. I do. All right. I got to get off. I did post a video today with all of this stuff, guys. All this stuff that I'm talking about now. And I'm going to be posting another video tomorrow and get going live and doing updates tomorrow as well. I'll see if I can do my 2-hour stream tomorrow. I think I can. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate follow subs, anyone who gifted, and you guys just being here in chat. Nancy, I appreciate you. Thank you guys. Thank you. What? Why did I didn't know she was pregnant? Yeah, I have a daughter that's due in like 2 months. Crazy. I appreciate you guys. Everyone, have a great night. And if you don't watch White Lotus, you should watch it. It's awesome. Season 3 is